Okay, now what we're looking at in terms of our timeline is if we move everything down here at the bottom, and let me get rid of some of these extra items and palettes that I do not need at the moment, we're going to notice our basically our bars down here, kind of our purple bars that are set up for us. And we have a time ruler that basically scrubs all the way to 30 seconds. Now this is a perfect timing for what we want to do, but we want to start different items like these at different times in our animation. So we might want the S to start to animate in at 5 seconds in instead of starting say at 10 seconds. So what we'll do is we'll look at everything that we want to remain static. So the Mila graphic and the redemption text here in the background, I don't want to touch that. So I'm going to go over to the left hand side here on my timeline, and I've got a lock icon, and I want to lock Mila and redemption as well as the background, because I'm not going to touch those, I'm not going to animate them, so I don't want to accidentally move them, change them, do something to them, which I'm going to regret later. So I'm going to lock those. And then I'm going to move down to the S. I'm going to move line actually down here below the E, because I'm not going to worry about that right now. Below the E, not on top of it. So I'm going to go to S, and essentially I'm going to move my bar here over on the right hand side. So I'm going to take my arrow, my cursor, and see how it changes to a left to right arrow. That means that I can roll over this area, click and drag, left click and drag to the right, and it will start, and I'm going to move that over to 5 seconds. So I'm going to move it to 5 here, and click and drag it over to the right, and that means that the S is now going to appear at that time in my timeline, at 5 seconds in. I'm going to do the same for the S, or the T, excuse me. But for the T, I'm going to move it over here and just kind of eyeball it about halfway through, maybe a little bit sooner than that. I'll do the same with the other character. I'll do the same with the N here, and I'll do the same with the E. And what that's going to do is really stagger the animations coming in. So I basically have the S, T, the O, and the NE coming in at different times for myself. So that's how I would start to stagger my animation. The next thing we're going to look at is applying some simple transformations to the elements that we have on top of the stage.